One. Good morning, everyone. Today is January 12th, 2025. 2000, Jesus
Yes.
Christ. 9 a.m., which only means one thing.
Welcome to CEO Talks, the live stream for aspiring, growing entrepreneurs.
I'm Gervais Nelson of VaceTime alongside with my amazing co-hosts.
I'm Marie Rose, CEO of Rosebud Studios and president of Rose Petals to Success, where we bring it to you live every Sunday at 9 a.m.
All right, so over the next few minutes, we're going to be speaking directly to three types of individuals. We're looking for those who are interested in business, looking to gain some knowledge. We're also here for those who are new to business, looking for a 5 to 10 year advantage. And lastly, all the established business owners looking for innovative ways to scale. We have three focus type of questions. Marie, please tell us what they are.
All right, so question one. What is something people overlook when they are planning to start a business that can become an issue later?
Love that.
Number two, revenue or profit? Which do you make a point to emphasize and why? And number three, how can you assess the risk and potential ROI of a new investment or expansion opportunity? Please remember, everything that we are about to say is general advice, shared from our actual experiences. And while you can apply some of this information to your business, we highly, highly recommend that you contact one of us for a one-on-one so we can make sure that we target the information that we're providing you to apply directly to your type of business.
Mm-hmm. So whether you're watching us live, please feel free to, we encourage you to drop your likes, your comments, your questions. I know we just dropped in there something about ROI. That should be your opportunity right now to drop some questions. Mm-hmm. If you're dropping your questions, you would like an answer at the end of it, we may pull your question directly live and use it as our bonus question. If not this week, next week. If you're watching the replay, feel free to drop your likes, drop your comments. We'll respond throughout the week. And if we really, really love your question, we'll make it one of our three questions for next week.
Absolutely.
With that said, let's get started and have some fun. All right, question one, Marie. This is for people in the startup phase, looking for a few tips before they dive into business. What are some things people overlook when they are planning to start a business that can become an issue later?
Zoning and licensing. You didn't think I would say that?
No, I didn't. You see my face.
Because not having, if you're having to have a commercial property or you don't, you're vending, any type of business you have, there's certain legal documents that you need to have in place. And I've learned from experience, my first business, I got shut down after 5 months.
Wow.
Because they don't shut you down immediately. Mm-hmm. They let you get some traction, they let you get moving, and then when you least expect it, they will come for the fines.
Wow.
And to shut you down. So making sure that you do your proper research on what license you need, what zoning permits you need for your business. And with licensing, I discovered this year, a lot of the vendors don't know that they need certain license to vend at these vending events.
Wow.
So being in the industry just because, I don't have a commercial property, I'm just vending at pop-up shops. Yeah, but if that pop-up shop happens to get rated or anything like that for licensing, your business will be affected because you don't have the proper licensing. So that is what I think would people overlook. Mm-hmm. And it will affect them later, like 5 months, maybe a year. I have someone who's been in business over 10 years, and they just contacted her and said she needs certain paperwork that she missed. And she's about to shut down her business. So that's a huge thing that people overlook.
Okay. That's dope. I would never have even thought about zoning and stuff like that. For me, I'm gonna go even further back than that. Choosing your name.
Oh my gosh.
Make sure it's clear what you do.
That's so true.
You're gonna have to fight extremely hard when you brand. So I'll use myself as an example, as you did. VaceTime. So many times I hear, the next follow-up question is, "What's that?" Mm-hmm. It doesn't specify what I do. So I had to fight 7 times as hard just to brand what it is that I do. Another thing is correlating with your name. Make sure the website's available. Sometimes people pick out the name and then they go to put a www.com and that
Yeah.
name's already taken. So now you got to put .net, .org, something like that. And all your
Yes.
traffic goes to a whole nother website. Another thing with your name, me being FaceTime, I go to the back of the line. Think about when you graduated. V, you got A
Yes.
comes to a landscape company, and I may be better. But when these people are pulling up for larger contracts and they're just looking for a landscape company, they'll put landscape company in Philadelphia. Well, the chances of FaceTime popping up first, slim to
I
none.
never thought of that.
I'm at the back. So it's
I
A,
never
it's
thought of
landscape
that.
company A, landscape company B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So my branding, my work, and my reputation, I had to fight 7 times harder just to get to the top of that list. And what you often can do as well, you also have to pay. How it hurts you on the back end is you have to now pay to get your SEO pushed up front. And you got to get it pushed top to the top of the list. You got to push to the top of the line just to get that first recognition, and your annual cost for your for that type of thing gets pumped up, and that's coming off your overhead off top. So picking your name is very, very important, and it can hurt you in the long run.
I never would have said that. I'm thinking, when the question came up, I thought of zoning, I thought of accounting. Never did I think of your name.
But you got to think about it. That's why we do it, because again, people, we don't know what we're going to say. This is so we're learning from each other in real speed and about each other in real speed as well.
So, in thinking of that, I never would have thought of alphabetical order because that's so true.
Yeah, you're in the back.
And in the database for any like contracts that you do, even if you are one of their contractors, it's going to come up in alphabetical order.
You're in the
That's
back.
amazing. And who puts V in?
Who puts V?
Yes.
Nobody's
That's like the
Google
last-
searching V. That's at the bottom of the list.
That's crazy.
So that's when branding becomes extremely becomes extremely important.
Yeah, so and they tell you to be unique in your name,
Unique.
but at the same time, too unique may hurt you.
Too unique hurts you.
Yes. So Rosebud Studios is popular in the art industry. So if you look up Rosebud Studios, it's all types of stuff may come up. And even because I got rosebudphilly.com. That's why I have rosebudphilly.com, because Rosebud Studios around the country are all over with actual art studios.
I know it's funny. I came across that one time when I was doing if you don't have one and you're a business owner and you're looking for a virtual mailbox, Rosebud Studio is the place to be. So when I was looking for Rosebud Studio to sign up for my virtual address for the Baseline Foundation, I landed on another page with that. So
with art.
I didn't know you had to put the Philly, and I had to reach out to your people to say it was Rosebud Philly.
rosebudphilly.com.
You're absolutely correct in that.
That's crazy.
All right, so moving on. Question
We
number
learn
2.
stuff too.
Yeah,
learn
we
stuff
are
too.
we are learning in real speed, and this is live in real speed. Like this is happening. Question number 2. This question is for people who started their business and looking to get ahead of the curve. So you're new to EIN, just got your rollout, everything's looking good. I love this question. Revenue or profit? Which do you make a point of emphasis and why?
Okay,
And I'm telling you now, whatever
question.
you pick, I'm going opposite.
Oh goodness. So I don't go for my emphasis is revenue. I'm not gonna lie. So my emphasis is revenue because I'm big on numbers. I'm big on tracing those numbers. Tracking those numbers. I'm big on, if I made this much, I can make double. So I base it on my revenue because that means I'm reaching a certain amount of people.
Okay.
I'm reaching a customer. I'm growing my customers. Eventually, I will hit a profit, but my focus is the revenue because my expenses will always either stay the same or go lower. Right? Hopefully.
For sure.
So if I'm making more revenue, eventually I'm going to hit a profit to make more profit. But my focus is my revenue. I know you're about to say profit. I know you are. Go ahead, Joey.
You'd be amazed. I like them both. I was hoping you said profit. Believe it or not, I was actually going to say I wanted to say revenue.
Okay.
But the reason for revenue is because banks love revenue. So the answer was different. Banks love revenue.
They do.
So I want to put the point of emphasis on it. The banks love revenue. The greater your revenue, the more you can borrow from the bank, you can take from the bank. And because I do a lot of commercial projects, I'd rather spend the bank's money. But on a sense of profit, I prefer profit. I'm going to take profit in this situation because I like to do both. I like to scale both. But if I had to choose in this situation, because you already took revenue, I'm gonna take profit because profit is good for your cash flow. So the more profit that you have, again, it always comes back to the banks for me. While you may not, let's say you're not a $1 million company. Most small businesses aren't. You're not a small business company, and you go in and you want to borrow from the bank. You can use your cash flow, which is made up of your profits. So the more profits you have, while you can say, "Oh, I only made $150,000 last year," but of that $150,000 that I made, I have $100,000 in profit right here in the bank in my cash flow. Banks will leverage that, and they'll say, "Oh, okay, well, you're good for money. Here, we'll give you $200,000 because if you can manage 150 and keep 100, here's 200,000, and I know if you get 250,000, you're going to be able to keep 200,000 and make good on your promises." So I think both are good. It just depends on which way you leverage it and which way you use it. So for that standpoint, if you're starting out in business, I'm going to say aim for your profits because it will allow you to survive year one, survive year two, and you'll learn a lot of good lessons in there, what your price point should be, what your overhead costs it should be, because like you said, get your expenses down.
Yeah, because that's hard.
You don't learn that, and you don't learn that until you're in it. That's year one, year two stuff. And you learn about your expenses, you learn about yourself, you learn about your price points, and you learn how to make money and how to pay yourself. So profits are always good.
Yeah, I mean, I've done coaching calls with people who have products and breaking down how much it costs to make their product has been such an eye-opener. It always is. And that part of my job excites me because being able to break it down and the person seeing that they are charging, like, not exaggerating, but a penny more than it costs to make it.
Right.
And they're excited with that when they make the sale, but it costs you that much to make that product. So you need to be double, triple what it costs you to make it in order for you to really make a profit. So I love doing that part in the coaching and also incorporating it in your business plan and your strategic plan because people don't do that. That's a step that's always missed.
And then a lot of people, that's why a lot of people end up going out of business in about a year or two because they're making just enough to keep making a product, in which case you just have an expensive hobby.
Exactly. And not charging for your time.
Yeah. And
your time costs money because if you are at a job, you're getting paid for an hour of your time. So why are you not charging an hour of your time in your business? Yeah, absolutely.
So listen, when I say expensive hobby, please, I hope I didn't hurt any feelings with that. But that's kind of what it becomes at a certain point because if you're making 2 cents on what you're doing, 3 cents on what you're doing,
that's not paying a bill.
That's not paying your bills. That's not going to keep you in business long term. And you're in this business to buy your time back, make more money to do the things you love. Whatever your motivation is going to come back around to how much you're selling your stuff for, so that you can continue to do what you love.
Yep.
So, all right. We're rolling through these.
We are rolling. I'm excited.
Question number 3. This is for our established business owners looking for innovative ways to scale their business. Again, congratulations on being in business for a long period of time. We know it's very trying. There are a lot of ups, there are a lot of downs. How can I assess the risk for, this is all you right here.
It's not.
How can I assess the risk for potential ROI, for those who don't know, return on investments of a new investment or expansion opportunity? This is Miss Building number 3 here, so I'm going to take my hat off and give you all your praise and let you answer this question.
Guys, don't listen to me. So I am 1,000% a risk taker, but I'm a risk taker with experience. So I wasn't always a risk taker with experience. Then that made me a fighter, right? So if you don't know what your return on investment will be and you're out here just taking risk, you have to also understand that the opposite of that risk, you have success and then you have failure.
For sure. And
you have to be accepting that you may fail. So if you are not able to fail, please don't risk what you can't lose.
That's right.
So with me, right now, I get to the point where I take the risk, but I also know what I need to do to be successful on that risk. So I know my client base. A lot of times I'm not able to communicate that. And when something is you have a blueprint that you created uniquely, it doesn't always have words attached to it. Sometimes you need people to be able to create those words for you, and you just know what you need to do to get it done. And I'm the do it to get it done person. So I know what my client looks like. Can't tell you what that client looks like, but I bet you I can find them in a crowd. I know how to advertise to them. I know how to fill the building. So how do I assess it? I assess the locations now. I assess where my client is. When my client typically comes to this area, if they wouldn't come to this area to find me, and I mean area as a physical location or virtual location. If my client that I identified doesn't typically come in those circles, then I need to either, am I willing to find a new client and find out what they like and restructure, or am I going to leave that area alone and go to where I know? How fast am I willing to make the money? Because if I need to do research and identify a new client, that's going to take me a little longer. So I need to have a cushion of finances to be able to hold me over during that time where I find that new customer. But if I need to flip this quick, I need to make the money quick, I need to build this business, I'm going to stay with what I know. And I'm going to do that to the fullest potential. A lot of times because I learned the language from, like, if somebody gave me this 2 years ago, like, asked me that question, I was like, what the heck are they talking about? Because I didn't learn from watching videos or listening to people who spoke like this. I learned from watching videos and people who spoke with, I'm going to get this money, double this money up, flip it, and then invest again.
Gotcha.
That's how I learned, and that makes sense to me. So that's how I built my business, and then I learned the language of return on investment, risk, or
No, it's real.
So when sometimes you need to apply it to your own language, and that's why I said you may not be able to always voice that to someone of what your strategy is, what your blueprint is. You may have your own language for that, and that's okay, because a lot of people who created some of the things we use now, it was unique to them, and later on people changed the words to make sense, to explain it to others, to learn from it. So that's okay, but just take your blueprint, flip it a couple times, and then share with the public, because that's where I am now.
That's so dope.
Thank you.
And that's 3 buildings later.
That's 3 buildings. And what Jovace doesn't know, this is actually building 5 in my life. 5.
See what I mean? Still learning. Like, who knew?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm 5 buildings in 5 years.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you. 4 open now. So no. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet because I think I'm at 8 buildings actually. I closed 4. I'm at 8 buildings. I have 4 open right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
For me, well, wait, that was a mouthful.
I know he threw
I'm really like, hold on. I'm really sitting here like in awe right now at that whole thing. That was like amazing, and I had no idea. Like you said, I had no idea. I really did not know, and I'm still learning. Like I said, we are learning each other almost daily. We don't speak all that often. When we do, it's usually here.
We usually speak here.
So we're still learning,
so
but
much.
business is business and ROI is ROI in different terms and terminologies.
Yes.
But we both love business, and it's just dope to hear and learn from each other. So what you heard from Marie was from more of a brick and mortar standpoint.
Yes.
And mine is more of I don't have a brick and mortar at all. I don't. I work out of my place of residence, and I have a virtual address, and then I work out of on the go. My car is pretty much a truck.
Your office is a truck.
My office is the truck. Thank you. A good ROI for me is I'm a numbers runner. I need to make sure that this deal makes sense. So I'm always in the presence of mind of numbers. So people lie, numbers don't is kind of my biggest thing.
That's
so
true.
I run the numbers forward. I run it backwards. I make sure it can make me the money that I need. I need to make sure that the money that I put in a good amount of time that's good for you or that's good for me, I'm either going to make my money back or I'm going to make more, and I have to be willing to take the loss that comes with it. So Marie said, what Marie gave you was more of a high risk, high reward. I'm on the other bar. I'm on low risk, high reward, and that doesn't exist. That's not even realistic, but realistically, in real terms, I'm low risk, low reward, and I just make up for it on the profit end. And that's why I'm so big on the numbers. I'll run the numbers to where I make sure that I come out with my good profit. And I do it in the sense of make sure that when you do it, however much you pour into that investment, you have to be willing to wait. You got to understand that some projects are going to take a year.
Yeah.
Some are going to be able to take a month. Some may take you 4 or 5 years. If you can't wait 4 or 5 years to get your money back, don't involve yourself in that project. So I'll give you an example. I had a deal with Comcast. That deal didn't pay out for 90 days. I had to pay for the material up front, the labor up front, the equipment up front, and the overhead and stuff up front. All that was up front. Well, you can't sit around with 5, 6 guys waiting to get paid for 90 days.
You had to pay them.
You got to pay them up front. So I'm out of material costs, labor costs, overhead costs, equipment costs. And I don't get paid for another 3 months. That money came directly out of me.
And they don't
that was my
it.
investment. They're taken care of. They're still cool. I'm back at home, not paid for another 90 days.
Yep.
And that's a return on your investment.
And
because
a
when
loss.
that came in, it's a loss at first.
Yeah, that was a loss for 90 days.
It's a huge loss. But I did the numbers, and when this comes back in, because I put in the proper numbers and I put in the right thing, I was up after those 90 days, and I made my profit. So you have to be willing to understand what your risk and reward is, and that's my 90-day low risk, low reward type of investment.
And that's kudos to you, right? Because 90 days can break a business.
Yeah.
Okay, so even if you have a brick and mortar or you have a business, mobile business, 90 days can break, 60 days can break a business. So being able to say, I'm not going to get a paycheck for 90 days, but I'm going to invest all of this money and I'm going to make sure everybody else eats. And you are okay with that because your investment will pay out.
And here's the catch to it. Here's the trick to it when you're doing what we're doing it from my standpoint, where you said 8 buildings, like, here's another important part. I'm not sitting waiting for that one. I'm going to run another project in the meantime that has to get done, which is money I have to put out. That's probably a 30-day. That's probably a 14-day. That's probably a 60-day.
Because work can't stop.
The work can't stop. You got to keep going. You got to keep emptying out your pocket. Like you said, other investments, other ways of learning. You keep putting it out. I'm going to get my money back. I'm going to keep fronting it. I'm going to keep fronting it, and I'm going to keep fronting it, and I'm going to keep fronting it. When I get it all back, I'm going to get it all back kind of like at once in one crazy lump sum. And then I'm going to flip it back into my next project, into my next project, and into my next project. And that's how I go.
And understanding that people will not understand that.
No.
It takes a special person to be an entrepreneur. It takes a special person to be a business owner. It takes a special person to be a CEO. And what you just explained is a CEO move because business owners are not able to sometimes take that mindset of, I'm going to invest all of this and not get back for 90 days.
Right.
So it takes a special person to be able to do that and be resilient enough to know that I can fail right now. I don't have the support because they all think I'm crazy because I just put thousands of dollars out to feed all these people. And I'm like, I don't have no money right now. And they're like, why don't you have any money? Because I don't. I'm waiting. Hold on. See y'all in 90 days. And then also understanding as a business owner that when you get that big lump sum, like most people do around certain times a year, and then they go have a whole ball. No, that's not what it is. You sat without that money all this time because you were waiting for it to come so that you can put your profit to the side and reinvest the other part back into the next project. And then it will come back tenfold.
So what we're saying is like, as a CEO, and another key piece I do want to touch on this too, a lot of people say, well, I don't never see you at the site. You don't do the work. And it's like, I've done the work. Business owner. Grow out of the business. Take your hands out of the business. Become the CEO. My job is not to do the work. I'm on the site. I'm making sure everything is going well. I'm making sure everything is going smooth. I'm making sure everybody has what they need. I'll go get the water for everybody. I'll answer phone calls for people. I've talked to people's wives like, hey, he's working right now, but what can I get you? Oh, you need to go get this. Okay, well, cool. We'll take care of that. And just so they can keep running smooth. But when you're the CEO, your job isn't to do the work. Your job is to get the next project, to keep everything running smooth. And that is the key point of that's what separates a boss and a business owner from a CEO. Your job is to grow your business and find the next project and the next project and the next project to keep your business moving forward.
Yep. Because if you are in the business, you are not closing deals.
Yeah.
There's no way that I can operate inside of Rosebud's operation, and have time to go sit at the table. Most of those meetings start early in the morning.
Right.
So, and some of Jove's meetings start very early in the morning. So, you have to separate those roles and understand that you have to be this person. If your business is running and it's profitable right now, and you are in the operations and you like, I'm doing good, I'm making a profit, that's amazing. But let me tell you, if you elevate to CEO, you will even make more profit. Yes. And you will see a change that you will not go back to being in the business. But again, Joves, we could talk about this forever.
I thought moving to ask the next question.
Yes, so that was question 3.
That was question 3. So we had one bonus question that we were able to take from last week's comment section that we reviewed on.
Okay.
And this one's dope. Marie has no clue what's coming.
No, never.
So again, this is your chance now to drop your comments in the comment section. Drop your questions in there. We'll review it throughout the week. It may be question 1, 2, or 3. And if there are no additional questions, it will be the bonus question. So please drop your questions, drop your comments, drop your likes in there now, and we'll review. Hopefully you found all of this information very, very useful. Bonus questions right here. Marie's getting nervous. I see her over there sweating. The hat's getting crazy. What's the biggest lie someone ever told you in business?
Guys. Okay. The biggest lie someone has ever told me in business is that you won't make money your first 5 years. Yeah, because I'm 5 years in and I make money. So, and I never want, and guys, I'm not rich. All right, if you see this, I'm not rich, y'all. I'm not. My business got money. I don't have none. But.
And that's the CEO answer right there.
Yes, but because my first year, they make you feel like you just working for free, and that's not true. I always was told, from people that tell me you don't make money, they don't truly understand business. And this doesn't only go into business. I was told that when I went and got my degree in social work. It was one professor that told me social workers make money, and that changed my life because I thought we were always helping and not receiving.
Right.
And so that's when I opened my eyes to the political side and the lawmakers that are social workers. And I take that back into business too. Saying that you won't make money in the first 5 years, then what am I planning for? No, I'm planning in my first year, but within 6 months, darn it, I should be getting not a full paycheck, but I should be seeing some profit or some positive in my investment that I'm putting into whatever business that I have. Because I have I can't focus long enough for me to go 5 years and not make any money, because at this point I'm going to start explaining to my family what the heck I'm doing with this expensive hobby.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I'm still a mom, I'm still a wife, and I have to have a career. And my business needs to be my career.
For sure.
So if I could be this person who has this expensive hobby for 5 years, but then my kids are going to wonder, Mom, what you doing?
They still need
because it does take a good amount of hours a day to operate. Even if you're not physically there, you're answering your emails, you're answering your texts, you're answering your calls. So you're doing all this work to make money for your business, to be able to pay yourself. So the biggest lie that I was told is that you don't make money for your first 5 years. And I want people to stop saying that, because you make money in your first 30 days if you choose to. It depends on what you put into it to what you get out of it.
I love that. That was, you hit that one right on the head, and you said something else that kind of triggered for me. That's why I was like, you know what, that's great. Education. Someone once told me that I wasn't qualified for a particular contract or a particular deal. It's always coming back to contracts and stuff for me. Mm-hmm. But someone told me I wasn't qualified for a particular job. And don't let your qualifications for a particular job discourage you. As long as you have your license, your insurance, and your paperwork, and the last 3 years tax information, you can get most contracts. A lot of companies have a lot of different protocols they use, but if they want you for that job, they will work with you to get that job, or so you can secure that contract in that time span, and they'll make it to where they'll help you along the process because they know they're all different. Every big company has a different process, so how can you be ready for every particular job?
Yeah.
You just have to have the main things. You have to be licensed, you have to be insured, you have to have your pay statements for the last 3 years on your business, and you have to be in good standing. And then they'll tell you what else you need. You need to have this, you need to have that, oh, we require this, we require that.
Yeah.
But you can secure that job in that time span. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll discourage you in a way. They'll keep sending you down to City Hall for this. They'll send you over there for that.
Yep.
And you're running for this, and you're running for that, and you're running for that. And it's doing that to discourage you to the point where you're like, I don't even want to do this no more. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the biggest lies ever told to me, that someone told me I wasn't qualified for a job because I didn't have it. I don't even remember what it was. It may have been something so stupid, like something from like L&I or something like that, and I didn't need it for that job.
Yeah.
And it was just so, it infuriated me so much, and it was one of the biggest things that happened to me. But I overcame that situation, and found a job very similar, and it ended up paying more, and it became one of the situations where sometimes, another thing, even if that happens, sometimes listen to your gut feeling. It may have just not have been the situation for you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that same situation, that same
just
job
thinking that.
folded. That same job folded, and
gosh.
everybody that was associated with that job became under this big investigation type of thing for some things, just like they weren't running it legit or something like that. So if something is giving you like a whole bunch of runaround and a whole bunch of things like that, don't take it to heart, and it's just not the situation for you at that time.
You know, when you said that, what was going through my mind was, it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
You know, like this was something to prevent you from being caught up in that situation. It just wasn't for you. But like relationships are everything. And I really speak on like social equity all the time. Relationships are everything, because with those type of jobs and the people telling you that you didn't qualify, there's been a lot of things that I did not qualify for.
Yeah.
You know, but I got it because of a relationship I had with somebody who took my hand and walked me through.
Yeah.
That's why I'm big on not gatekeeping and supporting people along their journey, because you never know. Like somebody did that for me.
Yeah.
And most successful businesses, they had somebody help them in some type of fashion get through.
And that's why we're here for you guys right now.
Absolutely.
Doing this. That is the whole premise of what we're doing right now. Is we're not gatekeeping, we're speaking openly, we're speaking honestly, and we are sharing information that we've learned over our years.
Yes.
And sharing it with you all.
Okay,
So.
I'm excited. This was so good, y'all.
So see you next week,
excited.
Sunday, 9 a.m. If you have a business and you want to be a member with us, taking a seat right here with us, inbox us, DM us, message us, and we'd love to have you here with us as well.
Yes, we love more CEOs. Let's go. All right, have a great one, y'all.
See you later.
Perfect.